Today we're going to make a blind box because my best friend is obsessed with blind boxes. So today I'm going to make a blind box from scratch and finally use my graphic design degree for good. Her birthday is coming up and there are two things she's obsessed with: sleepy characters and infinite. So I'm gonna combine them both and make my custom blind box. So first of all, I need to draw the characters and then we'll meet each other on my computer because I have to design the box. Also, I will have to make the figurine and I will use polymer clay for that. So I started with the character illustrations since I had to base all the artwork on those. Here you can see a few of my sketches. Then I went to my iPad and decided to draw all 6 members, which you can get in the box, since Infinite has 6 members. I also included a secret with 2 of our favorite members combined, which you will get in the box. Sorry to spoil that already! I redesigned all 6 members in my style and drew sleepy little illustrations of them, to put them on the box, as decorations, but also as possibilities to get. I used 2 pictures of Infinite Spirit's characters as my base and drew all of the members and the secret. If you want to make a blind box yourself, I really recommend making many possibilities to draw from and designing them first, like I did. You can put them on the box and also use them to model your figure after it. It is way easier if you've already designed the characters beforehand. I tried to let their personality come through with each of their poses, and if you know Infinite, I think I did really well. Drawing Hyunhee was my favorite, not only because Woohyun is my favorite member, but because I love drawing dogs and his pose is extra cute. I also love Yoli's character pose, it's so cute and so him. I sadly lost the footage of the last 2 members, but you will see the drawings on the finished box. After I finished all the drawings, it came to designing the box. It was really fun and I was in my element. I used InDesign for this part. I thought which character looked the most blind boxy and decided to put Tokking on the front. And of course I have put all the possible characters on the side. Since I was on a time crunch, I used @AppleFrog's template. It is really good since you can print out 2 A4 papers and glue them together like I did. I also designed a page with only my logo to use as wrapping paper, to mimic the wrapping paper that is also typically used in blind boxes. Then all that was left to do was to print out everything. I used 140 GSM paper for the box and 80 GSM colored paper for the logo paper. I used my steel ruler and my cat X-Acto knife to cut out the box on the following lines. I learned in art school that if you use an X-Acto knife, it is best to score the pages lightly first for 2 times and then cut it while the 3rd time, so you get a perfect straight line. I even left space for a small pulley tab that really worked well. I was so glad. These are the 2 pages cut out and you can see the box itself come together slowly. This is optional if you do this, but I really recommend it. I used a bone folder to score the paper so it is easier to bend the way I need it to bend. Here I prepared the pull tab. I cut not completely through the paper in small lines. This way it kind of became perforated and easy to tear. You need to be careful here and have lots of patience not to ruin your work. Now I folded all the edges on the front to prepare gluing both papers together. You can easily follow me if you also want to make the same box. Of course, I also had to do the same for the backside paper. I used a glue roller tape to tape all the folds together. I really love those, they are handy and mess-free. This one was extra cute since it left little hard glue marks. I started gluing the front side first. I put the glue on the back side on both seams and then carefully put the box together like this. Now you have one whole piece. I tried not to cut too much here, so you can follow along if you want to. Next, I glued the floor and then I finished the box and it turned out so cute. So a blind box is not only a box, it needs the surprise inside. I designed a card for the secret my friend will get and printed it on photo paper to make it shiny. When that was done, I had to make the surprise figurine. To be honest, I'm really bad with clay, but Fimo Soft is my favorite and even I can work with that one. After warming up the clay in my hand, I rolled a blob. This is going to be QQ. Lying on the bottom, I already tried sculpting in his tail. I rolled up another ball for his head and carefully added it to his body. With my fingers, I smooshed and smoothed the seams as well as I could. Then I added small cute ears. I scored his body where I would add his stumpy little feet and added those carefully. In the front, I added a small piece of clay for his curly hair. After that, it was time to add Hyoni to my piece. I needed another round sphere, made it kinda longish and added it on top of QQ's body. After smoothing the body down, I added his tail, which I made out of 3 small spheres that are smooshed together. Then I added 4 round spheres as his legs and smooshed them to his body. I needed another ball for Hyoni's head. If you ever work with clay, don't forget to slightly score the pieces you want to add together, then it is easier to smooth out. After finishing that, I added his ears and gave them a bit of texture. Then, the figurine itself was done and it was time for the oven. Sorry for the lighting change, I was in a bit of time crunch with this one, so I had to film in the evening when it was dark. Before painting it, it is important to sand down everything. You can get rid of unwanted texture this way. And this was my canvas after sanding. I am solely using Liquitex acrylic gouache for this whole project. First, I had to get an even canvas and prepped it by painting the whole figure white. Then I mixed up this creamy vanilla color by adding a bit of yellow and peach to my white and painted QQ's body with it. I tried to be careful not to get paint on Hyoni since he has white fur. Afterwards, I mixed up a pretty baby blue shade and covered Hyoni's ears and feet with it. And then I called it a day because I wanted these layers of paint to dry first before adding more details. And it is the next day. The paint has dried and this is how the figure is looking. Slowly, you can see it coming together. It was time to add in the details. I started with a pure yellow for QQ's ears, tail and cheeks. And then I mixed up a lighter blue and corrected Hyoni's blue and added the heart patch on his back. I added pink cheeks to Hyoni's face and some blush to both of their faces to make it look more like my style. And then it was time for the part I was most nervous about. So I tried to prolong it as much as possible. But I painted the facial features with a small brush in black. I corrected the black a bit by adding QQ's yellow nose, and I know it is not perfectly straight, but I think the wobbly features make the figurine even look more cute. I corrected Hyoni's face with a bit of white paint, and then added QQ's blue heart patch on the tummy. I wanted to make the figurine shine, so I added some very glossy varnish by Fimo. For an extra shiny look, I recommend 2 to 4 coats with this varnish. And then the figurine was done. I really like it, even though clay is not really my medium. I think it turned out really cute. If you have never tried Fimo Soft Polymer Clay, I really recommend it for beginners. It was time to pack up the blind box. I put the figurine carefully in my logo paper and packaged it like a present. And then it was time to add the package to the box. I nearly forgot to add the character card. And And it was time to close it up and seal the last papers together with glue tape. And we're done! We made a blind box completely from scratch.
Thank you so much for watching. This was such a huge project, but so much fun. I hope you liked this one as much as I did. I think this was one of my favorite projects of this year. And I'm really glad I made this because it gave me some spark of my creativity back. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm only missing 4 subscribers to reach 500 subscribers, and I can't wait to reach that. Bussi Papa!